Um, I'm Jada Anderson, and I am interviewing my freshman teacher, my English freshman teacher from my high school at Overton. This is Miss Gartung. Um, this is who I will be interviewing today. Um, so, with our first question, I'm going to ask, why did you want to become a teacher?
When I was in high school, I had my parents were not the most stable. It was a unstable household environment, and so I had a teacher who was really supportive at my high school. She was my Latin teacher, and she was just that calm environment for me to go and even just kind of hang out after school. And so I wanted to be the teacher that kids could go to if they had concerns or just needed a place to hang out and lend the listening ear.
That's pretty interesting. We love that teacher for you. What made you decide to teach at Overton? Like, what did you like about Overton and just the district of MNPS in general?
So I was originally teaching in Knoxville, and my husband needed to move back to Murfreesboro for his job. So I was deciding between Metro and Rutherford County. But I really liked the emphasis that MNPS places on social emotional learning. I like the wide diversity, and specifically Overton is one of, if not the most diverse high school in the state. So I liked working with a different variety of students. I like that there's a large English learner population. So it was just a good fit.
Yeah, that's good. So, with that being said, what made you choose high school? Because I know, like, high school students, I've seen it in their class before, but how high school students can be just a little crazy. And what made you choose English as the subject to teach?
So I chose high school. I think my personality kind of lends itself more to high school students. I'm more reserved, kind of um, more relaxed. I like the theming of elementary classrooms. I like how there's a lot of structure and scheduling with elementary, but I like to be interacting with my high school kids, planning for their futures, making jokes with them. So I think I just fit better with that age bracket. English, I didn't particularly care about the subject I taught. It was more about working with kids than the content for me. I just chose English because that's what I was good at in high school.
Hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm good at English because of you now. Like
Uh,
the stuff that you taught me with like annotations before, you actually do the essays and stuff and doing a text. I still do that now. So
Good.
I still take that with me. So, with that being said, what do you like best about teaching so far?
I like working with the students. I like seeing the progress they make throughout the year. I like seeing, especially with freshmen. I was getting used to working with freshmen when I had you were my first year with
Yeah.
freshmen, and so I was getting used to working with younger students who were experiencing a little less structure than middle school for the first time. But I like seeing how they progress throughout the year as they gain confidence, as they gain their skills that they need for the rest of high school. So I guess just seeing their growth is fun.
That's good. So, this is a question I'm gonna ask like personally,
Okay.
but how do you manage time as far as like lesson plans and like curriculum? So how do you manage all of that for it to be like within the schedule?
Okay, that's a really good question. Um, my mentor teacher when I was in college really pressed in me the importance of setting boundaries. And so that's what my advice to you would be. So it's going to be hard as a first year teacher, especially to be able to have all your plans developed and then get out at a reasonable time. But make sure that you're spending time on yourself. So if you like to watch a certain show or take a bath or work out, whatever your self care is, you need to make it a priority. Otherwise, you'll get burnt out. As far as grading and things go, I like to find just little tiny moments throughout the day and they'll add up. So, like when you guys were reading for 10 minutes at the beginning of class, I was taking
Hmm.
attendance really quick so I didn't forget that, but then I was grading your essays while there was quiet. And then as soon as we're back to teaching, I'm circulating, but then if I have a minute while you all are doing a quick write, I'm back to grading. So just
Yeah.
using every moment of time while you're in the school.
Hmm. Gotcha. Another question. I know that Overton or Metro, they still do like, the open house and parent teacher conferences. How do you get the parents to interact with like the child's learning? Like as far as, because I know like in high school, I won't say the parents really don't care because in high school, but what do you do to get them to be involved?
Another good question. That's something that we are actively working on at Overton is
Yeah.
how do we get parents to be more engaged? Freshmen, it's a little bit easier because they are the youngest group in high school and parents are still kind of interested in getting them transitioned into high school. But we're thinking about this year potentially moving more out into the community. So going to see where our students live, talking to the parents that way to kind of go out to pull them in because it can be intimidating for maybe people don't have good experiences at school and they don't want to come up to the building with their kids.
Okay. Another question would be, how much do you want to know about your students in order to help them like the most?
I want to make sure, so I'm sure you're covering Maslow's hierarchy of needs in your education classes. Like, I want to make sure that my kids' basic needs are met first of all. So, are they fed? Are they safe?
Mm.
And then once those things are accomplished, then we can move on to the higher learning. So, I think first I need to make sure, okay, everybody's safe in my room, everybody feels comfortable and accepted. And then once everybody feels accepted and ready and safe, then we can start learning, and that's going to help assist in that growth. I'm not sure if I answered your question correctly.
No, I completely
Okay.
understand that one for sure. As far as you, since you've been teaching for a minute now, not even just at Overton, but when you were teaching before you came to Overton, what do you feel like are your strengths as a teacher that make you, stand out?
I think building relationships is my strength because I do like to get to know my kids. I like to know what interests them, what drives them. But as far as instructionally, I think pacing is what I'm really strong at. I know how many days it'll take to write an essay and how to get through a lesson beginning, middle, end, and still have time to make it through everything. So I think that's something that takes practice, but I feel like that's a strength of mine.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one because I actually liked how when we had just times where we weren't, I won't say weren't doing anything, but you would like interact like in conversations and stuff to get us like to know us better and stuff. So that's why like you were the first person I thought about doing an interview with because my other teachers I really don't have a relationship with, but you, I'm like I can like talk to you. But just two last questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Okay, so I just had that talk with my principal, and I'm considering going back to school to get my doctorate degree.
Oh,
And then I'm not sure if I want to stay in the classroom or do coaching or do administration. Haven't decided yet, but I do want to do get my doctorate degree.
gotcha. Where do you have your master's and well, your bachelor's and your master's at?
They're both from UT Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
So bachelor's is in English with a secondary education minor, and then my master's is in teacher education.
Gotcha. So last question is, since you're now in the 2023-2024 school year, what are your goals to, accomplish this year?
Okay. Um, so we just went over TVOS scores. Today was a professional development day, and I got a 5, which is the highest score you can achieve. So I was really excited about that.
Good.
But I want to make sure the rest of my English 1 team is also at that level. We scored a 5 overall as a team, but just as individuals, I want us all to grow. So I guess becoming more of a coach on instruction, I think, is what I want to focus on this year. So all the kids are making gains.
Alrighty, well, that's all the questions that I have for you. I'm actually glad that you had the time to do this because I know y'all guys were busy and I know like the school year and stuff or whatever is going on. But those are all the questions that I have for you. I will be emailing you probably eventually now that
You're
I'm
good.
into my major classes now, just asking you for advice and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Always got time for you. You were definitely one of my favorite students my first year
Oh,
here.
thank you. That's nice to hear. But thank you so,
All right,
so, 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 so
bye.
much.
I'll make
Bye.
sure you get the recording.